Two wealthy parents decided to get a babysitter for their children while they went out to eat. The babysitter was nice and kind and just decided to watch some TV while the kids went to bed. However, she was startled. There was something in the corner, something that freaked her out. There was just a clown statue just staring at her. It was so real. So she covered it with a blanket and decided to call the parents to let them know what's going on. "Hi, it's me. Everything's fine. Kids are fast asleep in bed, but I was just wondering, would it be okay if I watch TV downstairs?" "Of course. But why?" "I know it sounds silly, but the clown statue is really creeping me out." "The clown statue?" "Yeah, the clown statue in your bedroom." "Listen to me very carefully. Take the children and get out of the house. We will call the police. Go now." "What's wrong?" "We don't have a clown statue."
A woman returned home from work and found her large dog, a Doberman, lying on the floor gasping for air. Concerned over the animal's well-being, she immediately loaded the pet into her car and drove him to a veterinarian. The vet examined the dog, but finding no reason for his breathing difficulties, announced that he'd have to perform a tracheotomy to insert tubes down the animal's throat so he could breathe. He explained that it wasn't anything she'd want to watch and urged the woman to go home and leave the Doberman there overnight. When the woman returned home, the phone was ringing off the hook. She answered it and was surprised to discover it was the vet. Even more surprising was his message: "Get out of the house immediately. Go to the neighbors and call the police." It seems that when the vet performed the operation, he found a very grisly reason for the dog's breathing difficulty. 3 human fingers were lodged in its throat. Concerned that the person belonging to the dismembered fingers might still be in the house, he phoned to warn the woman. According to the story, police arrived at her house and found an unconscious intruder, sans fingers, lying in a closet.
In a snowy town in Vermont, an elderly couple heard the sound of 3 loud knocks on their door. They opened it to see 2 kids. "Our parents will be here soon. May we come in?" The kids didn't make eye contact and just stood there in the doorway. The couple were hesitant, but eventually they let them inside, where they settled on the couch. The wife made some hot cocoa and the husband asked them questions that they did not answer. The wife returned and noticed that her cat was scared and angry with the children. "May we please use the restroom?" The wife looked at the kids and she finally saw them. Their eyes were as black as a starless universe. So dark and empty and nothing but a void. How could this be possible? She directed them to the bathroom and returned to her husband, who was covering his face with his hand. "Did you see their eyes?" The husband then showed her his hand full of blood from a nosebleed. The power then went out as the house turned dark as the kids' eyes. The wife headed to the restroom and was confronted by the voice of the kids at the end of the hall, uttering, "Our parents are here." They then left, leaving the door wide open. The wife noticed 2 men waiting. They were very tall and slender. The wife waved but did not receive the same friendly gesture. The 2 men and children then drove away together in one car. The power then came back on a little later as the kids left. However, throughout the next week, weird things started to happen. 3 out of 4 cats went missing, and the 4th had been found dead in a pool of its own blood. The husband continued to have nosebleeds and finally went to the doctor, where he was diagnosed with a very, very aggressive skin cancer. If children knock at your door, make sure to look at their eyes. Otherwise, you'll never know what will happen next.
One night, a woman went out for drinks with her girlfriends, and at the end of the night, she left the bar alone. On her way home, her route took her to a deserted highway. She noticed a lone pair of headlights quickly approaching her from behind. As the car came closer, she noticed that its turn signal was on. The car was going to pass. Just as it moved over to begin passing, suddenly the driver swerved back behind the car, pulled up dangerously close to her tailgate, and flashed the high beams at her. She started getting nervous and kept an eye on the strange vehicle in the rearview mirror. The headlights dimmed for a moment, and then the high beams flashed again, and the car behind her surged forward. The frightened woman struggled to keep her eyes on the road and fought the urge to keep looking at the car behind her. Finally, she approached her exit, but the car continued to follow, flashing the high beams periodically. Through every stoplight and turn, it followed her until she pulled into her driveway. She figured her only hope was to make a mad dash into the house and call the police. As she flew from the car, so did the driver of the car behind her, and he screamed, "Lock the door and call the police! Call 911! When the police arrived, the horrible truth was finally revealed to the woman. The man in the car had been trying to save her. As he pulled up behind her and his headlights illuminated her car, he saw the silhouette of a man with a butcher knife raising up from the back seat to stab her, so he flashed his eye beams, and the figure crouched back down. As far as the moral of the story goes, do not forget to check the back seat.